All right, and welcome back here. More OGA Dota Pit coming at you here with Game 2 between IG and Aster. Um, Before we get into the draft, I mean, we're kind of loading in right now, but that first game, just to give some remarks back on it, I know we're coming back from break, that was, you ever see the movie Flubber?
No.
Not? Okay, so it's a great movie. You should watch it, get a chance to watch it. Not that it was like the movie Flubber, but the Flubber bounces around and it just goes back and forth. And that's what that game felt like. Just a back and forth. Nobody can catch it. Nobody could hold the game until the end, until somebody made the ultimate flub.
I was really wondering where you were going with that. I actually have no idea.
I have been... Jenkins has been calling me a boomer recently with all the ridiculous references I make, because I'm pretty sure Flubber is a 90s movie, and then I made a Dirty Dancing referencing in that first game with the dancing is illegal.
Oh yeah, I saw him calling you a boomer and him being a zoomer.
Yeah, he was like, I think I'm more of a zoomer, and I'm pretty sure I'm only like a couple months older than Jenkins. But I mean, I guess I gotta become the boomer of the family.
Well, at least we know where the boundary for boomer and zoomer is now.
It's about 27 years old and 8 months.
It's somewhere within those 2 months.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, I mean, if you ever ask me a question that starts, have you watched a film called? The answer is probably always going to be no.
It's called Flubber.
I've seen this before. This is.
We're getting the same draft.
Do you reckon Emo goes for it again? He's like, guys, just give me Morph.
I won't buy Mask of Madness this time. Yeah. Or I won't die to the silence that Mask of Madness provides.
Let's go E-Blade first this time and see if it makes a difference. If it affects the outcome.
Just ban the Viper, guys. Just please, ban the Viper.
Yeah, they just go for it again. I mean, why not though, right? Like,
yeah, I go for it.
It'd be interesting to see how Aster react in their second phase this time to this, because they picked Earth Spirit Bat last time, and it'll be interesting to see if they go for this Centaur again on IG. Do they all ban out the same heroes again? I bet they do. I think it was Veno, Razor, something for Aster before.
Puck's banned. There's that. Oh, the Rubik.
Rubik, yeah.
The Rubik has to get banned.
That's the Razor.
All right. You sure you guys didn't put in a replay? Just
Are you trolling us, production? Is that the...
Yeah. Is this the ultimate troll production where you just put in a replay and go, Game 2, we swear? Are you doing what that North American tournament is doing?
Yeah, Mars ban again.
All right. There it is.
I can't remember what the last one was.
Rubik and...
But I can't... I'm pretty sure IG banned Rubik, didn't they?
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
I think they did. So. I can't remember what...
I think the Mars came later.
5 seconds remaining.
It was some offlaner, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. All right, let me give you the information that you so desire. It was Puck, Rubik, Mars from Aster, and then it was DK as the final ban from IG.
Oh, so IG have banned Mars this time.
Yeah.
Aster are like, what do we do?
We can't repeat the same draft anymore. Pick and ban for ban and pick.
Centaur's banned. Damn.
Well, see,
what's the point?
You go banning the Mars, and all of a sudden you throw out the balance of all things repeatable.
10 seconds remaining.
And there it is.
I think we might see this happen a lot more, by the way, now that there are only 2 bans in the first phase as well, where teams are still very sure on what they want to ban first phase. So I think a lot of openers are going to be very similar, more than last patch. Because there's just more good heroes that get through, right?
Yeah. Somebody was... 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. There are 7 bans.
Yeah, 2, 3, 2.
Yeah. All right, because I think in the first game, People were in the chat and they were like, the overlay doesn't match. Doesn't show us the 7th ban.
Oh. Oh, no. To be fair, that's the kind of thing that you don't prepare for.
Yeah.
I get that. That's fine.
Graphics team, we need 6 bans. And
7
now
bans.
Presenting our new graphics package, here's a 7th ban.
Yeah.
Why did you guys do this to us? We need a revision.
We'll just tell them what the 7th bans are. It's fine.
That's what's going to be the TikTok.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Radiant
So they're taking their time here, and they actually ban Viper. Wow, okay. I'm surprised about that. I know Viper's a decent hero, but even so, didn't think it would be I'd ever see it as a second phase ban.
10
Now I can
seconds
understand how
remaining.
sometimes you just ban it last, right? But if they felt like it was a big
5
problem for them,
seconds
then
remaining.
sure. Why not?
Well,
Dire team
Viper was the final pick, I guess. Yeah. Oh, Tide Hunter. Okay, so things definitely changing it up. JT gets to play something other than Centaur, obviously.
I really want this to be support tied. Like so much. You have no idea.
Support Tide.
Yeah.
I just want this
10
Tide to go
seconds remaining.
Axe.
Disruptor.
Oh,
Oh god.
and now, well, it should be Fade on that Disruptor, which means he's getting, well, maybe he's not getting farm priority because the Wisp was the one getting priority before.
I like this disruptor pick though, especially up against the Tide,
10
right?
seconds remaining.
Up against the Morphling as well. Like the Silence is so good against
5
both these heroes.
seconds remaining.
Just trying to stop them from getting their spells off. Especially if you can build a Yules on Disruptor now before Morphling gets Lincolns, he kind of just dies every time to Static Storm. Because they just have the Yules initiation even. And I wonder what they pick with this Tide here. I mean, I am going to assume it's a JT Tide. I was just messing around before, just a prank.
Being facetious, I think, with my limited vocabulary.
What about like Oracle? I think it makes their lanes too weak, but
Dire team
For IG?
yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was thinking like on the save route because you want something to stop this Morphling just dying in Static Storm, right? And the Wyvern's nice, but I don't think it's enough. But this Shadow Demon was really nice actually. They have the save now for the Morphling as
10
well, but
seconds
this
remaining.
purge is also really, really nice. Again, in a similar way to the Oracle, I
5
worry it
seconds
makes their laning
remaining.
stage a little bit weak. Especially if Aster pick something now that does well against Tide in like a 1v1, right? And they can run like an aggro try with like Gyro Aya Disruptor or something into the Morphling / if IG pick another carry.
Yeah, that was the kind of the early benefits of what they did in the first game for IG was the fact that JT had his own lane. He was able to get those early levels, had a great lane himself, which is something that we see from him very often is the fact that he's able to secure farms so well in his own lane. But
What about like Storm here or something? Because they need some jump as well to get on top of the Wyvern and Shadow Demon. Because if those two heroes don't die, right? Yeah. Because if those two heroes don't die, then you can't win fights. Like they have this double save. Like you need a way of being able to get onto that back line and killing off the squishy
Radiant
supports
team
first.
banned.
Because we saw that from IG last game. They really struggled to get onto the Wisp and the Earth Spirit. And if the Wisp didn't die, the fight was like really difficult for them. So we talked about this earlier though, with the Bloodstone change and the way that Kaya's now changed. It doesn't give you the mana
10 seconds
reduction
remaining.
anymore. So I'm personally wondering how good it is on
5
Storm
seconds remaining.
anymore. Because like obviously the mana increase feels really nice still. Like yeah, that's a nice little buff. But I think losing the mana cost reduction part of the item makes it
Dire
feel really
team
sad. Or at least in my head it does.
yeah, we talked about that off stream actually. That was
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
I should have specified.
Well, just because, if somebody wants to look back, it won't be there. Enigma, well, now you need what? You need
10
someone who's
seconds
a natural
remaining.
Orchid carrier. Queen of Pain's the first ban.
5
I mean, that's
seconds
who comes to
remaining.
mind first when you're thinking Orchid, and then silence-wise, you're thinking Puck, at least for the Storm. But, I mean, in this situation right now, it doesn't feel like they have much to keep the Storm in check.
And they could pick like Ember or something maybe on IG as well. Isn't awful.
Well, would it be worth going Void Spirit mid? Because then you've got yourself like, disruption into what should be a guaranteed remnant. You can stack the Winter's Curse and then set up for a Ravage. Have that combination.
Yeah, you could. It's okay.
It's not great against the Disruptor though.
Yeah, they banned DK by the way on Aster as well. Which, when you've got the Storm, they just need some, cheap stun, and DK is, the best mid-hero for that, right?
10 seconds remaining.
But, at least they have a way of killing the Storm then. Because at the moment, the Storm has a free game.
Remaining.
Their support duo doesn't have any stuns between them. They've got Ravage, which is okay, and they've got Curse, I guess, which counts as a stun, but it's not really what you want to be using it for.
Dire team pick.
I worry for IG as well that if they use Curse and Ravage together once as well, their fight's going to be impossible. They hardcore lose the fight if they do that. They need some catch as well on Aster though. Both teams need stuns here.
10 seconds remaining.
IG banned Brewmaster as well, which would have helped round off Aster's lineup. Okay, it gives them good team fight as well.
This could even just be a mid Morphling. Is there anything in the safe lane that you're thinking? Because that's what happened last time. Was it ended up being the Weaver last pick? Emo took over the Morphling role instead of Fly. There's still 2 lanes of options here for IG.
I want to see Aster pick Sanking just for fun. I love that hero.
Yeah,
but they need some initiation, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Batrider's hero for sure.
Batrider's still in the pool, but it doesn't feel very good up against Wyve and Shadow Demon.
And Shadow Demon, yeah. Is it worth going Clockwork even? Ooh, Pango. Okay. You know what? I like that. And honestly, I'm thinking more Blink Dagger oriented Pangolier, where you're getting the Rolling Thunder off, blinking in, and really disrupting the fights.
Yeah, I do wonder what he's going to build, because I think Vlad's on Pango now. It's obviously still nice. We used to see people pick it up all the time, but it doesn't give stats anymore. So I think without the stat gain, the I'm makes you feel really squishy now if you decide to go for it first. Maybe you go double bracer Vlad's or something. I don't know what the build's going to be from this Pango, but I think look out for his items just to see what they do this patch.
And there's the Ember you were talking about. So you've got control with that. It'll be Emo on the Ember, and this time a Fly on the Morphling, which I think is fine because Emo plays a very good Ember. You'll get a little bit of a different style here from Fly on the Morphling. Now without that Viper, E-Blade seems a bit more viable for you. I like it. I always like the switch. That's one of the things that I really like about this IG team is there's a bunch of heroes in the shared pool of Emo and Fly. And it keeps options open, and it also I think really works well with what they offer as a team overall.
I think this game's going to be it's going to be very slow though. By the way, I think we talked about how they lack cheap stuns, right? I feel like they need to play around Rolling Thunder and Ravage, both teams, to be able to get much done. Unless Emo goes crazy, right? But I don't. Yeah. I don't really see there being many just skirmishes going on. They kind of want to play around their spells, like Static Storm and stuff on Aster, Rolling Thunder and things. And on IG, it's they don't. I just don't like this support duo of Wyve and Shadow Demon. It feels really meh.
Yeah, and I would say, what's the build here for Emo? Because a lot of the times we'll see Embers even skip Searing Chains, but you want to have that early control, don't you?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how many points he puts in Slight and Chain. Because I feel like he probably still max Flame Guard here. But maybe 4-1-4 would be my guess. My go-to, but it depends, because if they want to slow the game down, right, and both teams do just want to farm, then he's probably going to put more points in Slight. But if he feels like he can get involved early on and try and make things happen, then I think he needs some more points in Chains.
Which one on this Storm? What's their options for this Storm. Is he unkillable once they get BKB?
Yes, if they don't get... Well, I mean, they have Curse, which delays the BKB duration at least, right? But it does feel like a very, very good Storm game. We should put that out there now as a disclaimer.
It definitely feels like a strong Storm game. And then you've got XSS on this Pangolier, and he's already looking towards Helm of the Dominator to start.
The battle begins.
I think... So I was wondering, before I told you about this off screen again, I think Helm's a really good item. But I was struggling to see which heroes would buy it. And I talked about how the Vlad's lost the stat gain. Helm of Dom gives you 6 armor, 6 all stats, and 6 HP regen, which actually feels really good on Pango. But how well would XSS be able to use the creep here in the laning stage? Is my question. Because the problem is he needs Vessel as well, right, this game. He's playing against Morphling, like, he's going to be the Vessel builder. But you don't really want to be going Vessel first. Like, you kind of want some bridge item, which is why I think this Helm of Dom is actually going to be really interesting to see. Interesting, they put the Wisp with the Pango, by the way, instead of the Gyrocopter.
We'll see if that provides more value down the line, because that was the best lane that was there for Aster.
The problem is, if the Disruptor goes bot, he doesn't really do anything to the Morphling, right? Because he can just attribute shift around and stuff. But in these early levels, they need to be able to pressure with the Thunderstrike onto the Tide, because otherwise he just has a free lane. Because Wisp can't really bully a Tide. Like, it doesn't work.
Splinter Blast constantly coming out, but Kaka now dealing with just 2 clarities. Not the best feeling to be without mana, and definitely opportunity for Faye to do something with it.
Okay. They tried to go onto Bobica because they hit their level 2s first, but Bobica just tethers away. A top lane as well, JT.
And Tide Hunter, yeah, JT, he's going to drop for first blood, and this is a little bit different compared to the lane that we saw him have, of course, in the first game. Granted, he was solo in that first game, but he gets whittled down, and I wish the death summary would open up, but unfortunately for me, it didn't. Trying to figure out how he just dropped, or if he just allowed himself to get too low.
He's still level 1, right? So if he only has a point in Anchor Smash, they can just click him down, like without the Kraken Shell. He might even take Gush if they feel like they can get a kill.
Force used the disruption. Ollie trying to get some stacks out there. Fly out putting some damage, but yeah, that's just a save right now for Ollie on this Shadow Demon, who's got just a Sentry and a Mango ready to go.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. Like, he has no regen left on the Shadow Demon, right? I assume he's got some coming out on his courier here. Yeah, it looks like he does.
Yeah, South Tango's clarity.
Which is moving very slow because of the new update as well. I think how is it 10% slower, I think? Couriers when they carry regen. I can't remember what the number is.
Couriers are already getting killed at a massive rate. I feel like we should make couriers faster. Save courier lives.
No, just... I hate people just bringing out regen all the time. It's the worst thing.
Fair, but at the same time, it's just like, it seems like couriers are dead so often, and their pathing stinks.
Their pathing does have issues. I'll give you that much. Top lane fade. They took the point in Gush at 2.
Yeah, they're gonna get him low, but not get the kill. They've got the stick, so he's able to survive and pop a salve. So he's happy with the fact that he forces all that out, and that does end up making the Winter Wyvern go towards mid
as well.
But what can he do? Emo in trouble. Searing Chains is out. Chuan will get that kill on Emo, and now it's all of a sudden 2-0 in favor of Aster, even with the rotation for the Winter Wyvern, who doesn't have any mana regen. So he's come over mid, and
he gets the
I don't know if that's going to be great. Do you have the bottle for that? Yes, he did. Oh.
And so now he's like really a whole level ahead of the Ember here as well.
Mm-hmm. He's about to be 2 levels ahead for a split second.
He has the Helm of Iron Will coming out on XXS, by the way, here. This Panga's going to be so hard to kill.
Kaka wanted that deny on the range creep, but missed it.
Haste! You'll get the next one.
Missed it by quite a bit. And he was over there sapping some experience. Haste gets used by the Storm, who I believe is going to be angling towards going on to this Tidehunter, but instead they'll look to grab Kaka. And I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't get this kill. And there's the ball lightning in to grab it. 3-0 Aster. This is a huge difference from game 1 in the laning phase. Gosh.
Yeah, they are. I mean, again, it comes down to this mid lane a lot, though, right? As well, where Chuan's just seems to have with that solo kill that he gets on emo before, like the lane's so much better for him now.
Mine.
And this Pango's doing a lot better than I thought he would as well, which is probably just not all due to the fact, but partly due to the fact that he has the Wisp in lane with him as well, just to help him out. And look how tanky this Pango is now. He has 10 armor, like so much HP regen as well because of the Helm of Iron Will. Like, how are you supposed to bully him out?
It doesn't seem like there's much you can do to really fight this Pangolier. I mean, Firefly is gonna try. I don't know if I really suggest it, but now all of a sudden 4 stacks, 5 stacks on a Bobica, he might end up being the target.
Has been killed.
Can't be too careful right now. 5 stacks will pop. Bobica gets down to half health, but Swashbuckle forward, disarm, and now more Shadow Poison coming in. This isn't really... This is like the exact opposite of game 1. And Tidehunter top, getting run down. JT in so much trouble. Splitterblast comes in, but they've got the glimpse. Ooh. They'll bring him back. They'll go north.
They can't get in range for the Rocket Barrage. He's got one more, but... Oh, he goes the wrong way.
Field? All right.
Look at this
Making
fish go.
Some space. No. All right, JT.
No way.
You've earned yourself a singular clap.
Just one.
For that one.
Means I'm not allowed to clap because you only get one.
Next time I'll give him 2. Another disarm. Like, Firefly is just not having a good time down here. CS is fine. I think it's just not a fun lane to be in.
No, absolutely. And when the Panga gets level 6, it's going to be even harder as well. He has the Helm of Doma here and 5 gold as well. You have no idea how excited I am for this, because I was theory crafting with my friend for so long last night about how I thought this was a decent item, but I was really struggling to find heroes that it was good on. And it's coming. Do you remember when I said at the start, oh, we get to see how the pros read the patch because I thought I was going to be wrong? Come on, please. XXS, prove me right.
I think the one takeaway I have from that is the fact that I just went to bed early because I don't really have many people to talk about anything with.
Oh, Chuan on the storm?
Ollie, he ends up dead to Chuan, and it's easy with not the relocate, but the move over from Bobica, as he's just level 5.
Dude, here we go. I'm so ready.
Yeah, it's Helm of the Dominator now. Faded Brooch. That's a fun one again. Yeah, all right.
Ah, okay. You know, that's fair enough. He didn't have chains up anyway. Like, he wasn't going to kill him, but worth a little snipe. And yeah, I love that Storm's going Orchid here as well, instead of the Bloodstone that we used to see from them before. I think Orchid's in a really interesting place now because it's like it costs less gold than it did before, but it also gives slightly less int and mana regen. I think it was because they changed Sage's masks and stuff as well. But you now have this window where the window where Orchid is really strong is now bigger, right? Before they get purges and stuff online. So I actually think it makes Orchid a better item overall, and I think because of the Bloodstone change making Storm worse. I actually don't think you can go Bloodstone first anymore. I think that this Orchid is going to be something which we see a lot more of, and especially this game when you're against Shadow Demon Wyvern, like the Orchids just gain so much value. Even like Ember and Morph as well, actually, to be fair. Oh, nice little Royal Jelly for him and the Wisp as well, I assume.
That's going to be nice. Centaur with a little stomp on a fly.
Gave it to Gyro. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Did he take it himself? Yeah, he did. Interesting.
That's fair. I think Gyro and Storm are both good users as well. It's fine.
Set on the Winter Wyvern from the Storm, but Ravage used top and hits on the Disruptor as well as the Gyro SCCC. He'll end up dropping, and they get themselves at least one. They'll look for more. Fade, he'll get under the tier 1. It just won't be enough to survive.
We dodged the Shadow Poison?
Or I say that. Oh gosh, XSS with a swashbuckle rips through Ollie, and well, Disruptor. One stack of Shadow Poison wasn't enough, and the Glimpse saved him. Winter's Curse gets used just to TP out, as XSS does a lot of damage onto these supports.
Have you seen this new Helm of... I think it's new. The new Helm of Dom effects, by the way, on the creep as well. If you see it in bot lane, this little orange aura underneath it. I actually really like it. I think it looks really good. It's so nice to be able to distinguish the Helm of Dom creeps from the others as well.
It reminds me of... Sylar has it on his Lycan. It's the Trail of the Burning Doom relic on his Lycan. It's not as flamey and bright, but it looks a little similar.
Top lane set up for relocate with the Centaur and the Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder through from XSS. They've got the relocate in. JT doesn't have Ravage or really anything to survive this, so they'll just chase him down, make it 6-1, 2,000 net worth lead there. And we were talking about a slow game, but Aster's pumped the pace a little bit.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Helm of Dawn, best time ever. Just gets a kill top lane. Easy. And they get the tier 1 bot as well, which is huge. You know, they don't get anything in return on IG at all. Like, they lose their tier 1 and they lose their tide as well at the same time.
So, will it be enough time here for, or will there be enough time here for the Morphling and the Ember to really make something happen? Not that they're down a terrible amount of net worth. And honestly, where they're sitting between all 4 heroes is okay. I think a lot of the net worth difference right now is the difference between XSS and Tide. So, if they can sustain and kind of get fly Nemo on something, that would be okay. But the Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Winter's Curse is a great save. They get the kill there on the Fade. Now the Searing Chains is out onto the Storm. Chuan hit with the Vortex from Morph, who morphed into the Storm Spirit. Great fight there from IG, and that does open up some time for IG to really recover. That's great for them.
This is what I meant by the cheap stuns though, right? Because they get the glimpse off onto the Morph, but he starts morphing strength before he gets into the kinetic field with the Static Storm. And it's like, well, this is a really difficult kill on the Morph now. Like, I actually don't think there's any point of them going for that kill on the Morph unless they either get like a Yule's on Disruptor to set up for the Static Storm, which he's going for, or like they find the Rolling Thunder like initiation or something. Because otherwise, like, it's so difficult to get that kill in the first place. Like, it's really high risk and really good positioning by Kaka to be there with the Winter's Curse.
Really well placed Winter's Curse here from Kaka. Looking over at JT, he's going into the Vlads. And, well, maybe we'll see if that's worth grabbing for him. As actually, both him and XSS are going Vlads.
Top tower is under attack.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Vlads is a really good item when you have Morphling and Ember, especially. Like, they have a lot of right-click damage coming through, right? I'm not quite sold on it as much for the Dire side, but it is a Pangolier, right? Like, Vlad's always felt good with Pango last patch as well. You just get the instant lifesteal from the Swashbuckle. So there's no reason why it would be bad here.
Swashbuckle. Just continuing to farm, going Yules after that. So no Blink Dagger in the near future here for XSS, and that's one of the things that I thought would be very good here for the Pangolier. It's one of the things that I really like, too, is just having that ability to go into the Rolling Thunder, blink, disrupt fights, and work from there. But Schwan? Wait, did he miss those chains? Yeah.
Oh, the Helm Creep, go!
They've got the glimpse, they'll find Ollie and get a quick kill onto the Shadow Demon. Rolling Thunder does get used. Not the worst thing to have on cooldown, just 70 seconds.
B-Cup, all I'm saying is that Helm Creep gave vision for the glimpse. You don't need much more than that, do you? Like, God.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Storm's very close to walking now. The recipe only costs 475 now, so he's only 300 gold away. And this is some massive item timing for Aster. They need to try and play around this Orchid as much as they can in these early stages. Like, the only hero that doesn't mind it at the moment is the Tide, right? And even Ember's going for an Orchid as well. Interesting.
He's going Orchid, which is an item I was thinking about when I was thinking, what do they want to pick? Because I had mentioned, you know, maybe getting the Quap, even though it was banned. Like, that was one of the first things that I think against this Storm is, like, something that will have some mobility, have yourself a silence. Like, who is going to be an Orchid carrier with this game? And, well, here it looks like it's going to be Emo. And that sets up and bodes well for them. We saw a little bit of what they were able to do controlling the Storm, with Fly turning into the Storm and getting the Electric Vortex to keep him locked down. So having that silence on top of that could be very good for IG in this next fight.
Yeah. But again, I struggle to see how they're going to deal with like this Wisp Disruptor combo, right? You got the Orchid onto the Shadow Demon. He's just gone.
Oh gosh. XSS blast him in the last week. Picked up Tome of Knowledge, but won't be able to use it for a little while.
So this is the problem I have with Storm now, right? Like, you get this kill, but you've used like all your mana, right? Emo has his own Orchid, by the way, and they just Orchid each other. Oh my god, it's like the Spider-Man meme. Oh no! Oh god!
And the relocate. Great job there by Emo.
I'm really surprised he went for that static Storm still, even after like he saw the Sleight of Fist get used by the Ember. He did go 4-1-4 by the way on Ember as well. You know what? I was awful last game. But I'm feeling good about myself now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So they grab this tier 1 over mid. Again, Kaka going into the Blink Dagger on this Winter Wyvern. I actually love that item on him. It really helps his positioning. And Remnant forwards, they've got the Searing Chains as well as the Orchid onto this Gyrocopter. So he's forced to use the BKB, but they've got the Winter's Curse. So they keep him locked down. They actually try to focus Bobica. He doesn't have Relocate, and it's just the BKB TP.
That's a really early BKB from the Gyrocopter. Wow. I haven't clicked on them all game. They've just been farming the whole time. There's just been more interesting things like Helm of Dom. Orchid.
Well, I think the only change here is he went BKB Ags as they will find Fade and get the kill. Instead of
as well.
You know, instead of the Ags BKB, it's BKB Ags, and I think for the Gyro, like, it's gonna slow down his progression, and he was much further ahead at this point in the last game.
True, but at the same time, like, look at the magic damage they have on the Radiant side this time. Like, I actually don't mind it too much, because the thing is, he can't fight into them ever until he has BKB. I think he's worried if he goes Ags first, then it slows his BKB timing down too much. Like, where they're not going to be in a position to be able to take fights at all. So yes, like, his farm progression slows down, but I think he has to go this way around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So they start to
Radiant structures
queue together here mid, looking for the tier 1. Fade right there. Fade does have Static Storm, so if they want to place that down and stop the Ravage from happening, they can have that opportunity, but they've got the Disruption into the Winter's Curse, so they can stack this as long as he gets it off at the right time, but they've already killed off the Storm. JT gets saved. The damage out on XSS is being felt heavily, and now JT, he was winding up for the Ravage, but never gets it off. SCC on the run with the rest of Aster is the remnant forward, as well as another one here from Emo. There's the Syrian Chains. They have the damage to take out the rest of these heroes on the side of Aster. It looks like they'll at least get Bobica. Silence onto the Gyro. Finally, a remnant back. Sleight of Fist kills him off, goes for another, takes out SCC, and Fade, he'll try to fight and get himself one, but a full team wipe here for the side of IG.
Yeah, I mean, this Morphling is big problem. He just finished the E-Blade before that fight, I'm pretty sure. And how much gold did he get from that? Yeah, he gained 780 gold. Yes, he must have just picked up the E-Blade before that fight. I mean, what kind of reveal is that? Like, that's insane. Amazing curse from Kaka, has to be said. I mean, they just completely 100 to 0 the Storm in the curse duration. And, you know, without the Storm's extra little bit of damage coming through and whatnot, the fight goes so wrong. And especially, I don't know if you saw right at the start, they get the Static Storm onto the Tidehunter, and it looks like they can like try and 100 to 0 him at the start of the fight, but it takes them so long to kill him because Ollie gets the disruption off, and the Storm used the Orchid, but it was just afterwards, like just after the save came out. So it's the little things that add up, unfortunately, for Aster, and you have to be very wary of this curse, I think.
Yeah, and that was his dying wish to get that disruption, hoping that they would get a Ravage, but they didn't even need that. So technically, now that they've, you know, used the Winter's Curse, and I think we talked about maybe getting that little bit of a stack where the Winter's Curse comes out as well as the Ravage, but they didn't need to do that this time, and they can still use Ravage, and now they've got the Winter's Curse again.
Dire's top tower.
The Winter's Curse is just an 80-second cooldown. It's not really that long, and they've got no mana left here on the Shuan, but right into the relocate.
Oh my God.
Well, when you can't ball lightning away, you can't do anything. So the Storm Spirit ends up dead. They look over to get themselves Bobica on top of it, and all of a sudden it's a 1-2 gut punch coming the way of Aster. They do lose the Tide, which is a bit concerning. That did force the Static Storm, but he'll buy back. Firefly goes in on XSS and has no problems getting the kill there.
Ooh. I mean, these two cores are like... This Morphling and Ember have just hit a timing that the Storm and the Gyro can't fight into at the moment, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they needed to buy back on the Tide, but it at least probably secures them Roche with that buyback.
Yeah, that's the big...
You've got the omnipresence of the Ravage, and there's not really a way in for Aster.
But you have to remember, it's not just the Aegis for themselves, they're also taking it away from the Storm as well. Like, it's such a big win if they can take this.
Dire are scanning. Roshan has
and there it is. Aegis in the hands of Emo. You've got a BKB soon here for Fly. Emo, he could be saving for a BKB, but we'll see. No, he's got that Aegis.
This Blink's nuts on him, actually. I'm so happy he went for this, because we talked about how they need to be able to kill the two supports in the backlines and stuff first. Like, even the Pangolier is a massive kill for them. And this Blink just enables that so much. And, like, because this Tidehunter, like, it has to kind of, like, walk in Ravage. They don't have any initiation from him. The Ember's the only one with jump, really, right? Like, and you don't want to just commit the Remnant to go in every single time.
Kind of glad this Pango went Blink, though, too. I think they're struggling to get to the back lines of this IG side and disrupt the fight as much as they would want to. So now that you've got this Blink Dagger, you can start the Rolling Thunder, initiate that way, and really do a little bit more. They were initiating prior to this with a Static Storm Kinetic Field to start. And I think now that you can hold that, things might feel a little bit better. But as I say that, Fade, he gets found by Emo, and with an Orchid, there's not really much that Fade can do. He can't glimpse you away. He's just dying.
He doesn't quite have the Yules yet on Disruptor, unfortunately, but even then, I still think he dies anyway. Yeah, like, if you look at this Dire lineup for Aster, it's like they have more of a pick-off kind of like style, right? Where they want the Storm to find somebody, they want the Disruptor to find somebody they can relocate in. But whenever there's a 5-on-5 at the moment, IG just have more like brute force at the moment, right? Like, they just have more of this like early game damage. Now that Gyrocopter has Ags, at least he has like more right-click coming through, but I just worry that it's not really enough at the moment. And Tide's got mech now as well, jeez.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They go for the tier 2. Things really starting to open up.
Dire's
No buyback
middle
for the
tower
gyro,
has
no
fallen.
buyback for the Pango. So if they can win a fight on this side of the river, I think they really just
Are they going
start to ravage the buildings of Aster.
Oh, they can't.
Static Storm, silence is out. JT, he needs to hold this ravage, but also survive the waveform back. XSS with swashbuckle onto the high ground, call down forced out. BKBs were used in that situation by both the gyro as well as the Morphling, and now you might need a second to just reset.
Yeah, in theory, that fight's really good if you like get the curse off and then follow it up with the ravage straight away. But good positioning from Ollie. Sorry, not Ollie. Fade on the disruptor. It was Ollie last game. Just to make sure the Tide couldn't get that static off there in pairing with XXS on the Pangolier. Nice little ancient stack here for the Tide as well. Thank you very much, Mr. I assume it was Wisp that stacked it.
Disruptor stacked it.
Ah. Wait, how do you know who stacked it?
It shows his portrait on the stacked creeps.
Oh, I didn't even realise.
JT, he's in with the Vortex, but they've got the silence onto the Storm, so all of a sudden, well, Juan is dead. Exodus is going to go into the Rolling Thunder, hoping he can make something happen. The Blink Dagger picked up by JT. And,
oh my god,
well,
that's
they don't have Static Storm. Winter's Curse out onto the gyro as well as the Wisp.
Oh, he can't
have a
ravage.
stun onto JT. He can't ravage once again, but holds it for a second, thinking about letting it rip. Maybe just, oh god, Static Storm again! He just never is going to be allowed to ravage. I don't know if it matters in the long run, but still, it kind of sucks when you're not allowed to use the biggest part of your fight. They kill Fate.
It really sucks for Tide. He got hit by a homing missile just before. So, like, the curse came out and he was just stunned by a homing missile at the same time. So he couldn't get the ravage off. Feels really bad. But, yeah, I mean, great fight by IG still again. Like, this Morphling getting further and further ahead.
Is under attack.
Now going for that Skadi, which is okay. Yeah, I don't mind that too much. I mean, the extra little burst of HP is always nice. And again, like I said before, it's never a bad item on Morphray. It's always going to be okay. Especially when you're up against this gyro as well, where the effect is, I'm pretty sure it is more slow to range heroes, right? Yeah. It slows enemy range units by 50%. So, it's pretty crazy.
So all of a sudden they've got the 6K lead. Gyro sitting on top of the net worth for now, only up 100 or so gold. He's going into the MKB, excuse me, as his BKB is out in 6 seconds already. Oy. Does pick up a Paladin Sword though. That's a big one.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I like your point about the BKB duration though. That is a big worry. He's going Bloodthorn, by the way, on Ember as well. Which is insanely good if you put it on the target of the Winter's Curse.
Jesus.
Dire's bottom
They just
tower
melt
has
so
fallen.
quickly.
Oh, silence on XSS, and the damage onto this Pangolier. Can he run? Swashbuckle, and now the waveform forward from Fly. E-Blade blows up XSS. There's the Ravage finally coming in. They'll get the kill on Abobica. They'll take out SCCC. No buyback available for the gyro. Now, this isn't exactly across the river, but certainly on a close enough point of the map to now take advantage of this.
I'm pretty sure Storm tried to TP top there as well, but they actually stopped him with the Winter's Curse by Kakar in the bot lane as well. So he couldn't even get there to join the fight. I think the problem this Storm had early on is that, like, this Orchid time was really good. Yeah, he gets a couple of pickoffs, but in the fights, if he goes on somebody with Orchid, they have 2 saves, right? Like, you can't Orchid 2 people. It doesn't work. So unless you're finding pickoffs, like we were saying, these big 5-on-5s, IG just always have the advantage.
Radiant structures are
Like, Pango's a good team fighter, but I feel like Tide's just better, right?
At least in this game, I think there's definitely been moments where I feel like I would put Pango above the Tide in some aspects.
Like, look at the heroes that Radiant have, and look how important Static Storm is. Like, they have to Static Storm the Tide Hunter every single fight, right? But now it just means that the Ember and the Morphling and, like, these 2 saves can just do whatever they want the whole time. It's so difficult for like Aster to try and like choose pick priority, like pick target selection, whatever the technical term is.
So over by Roche, a minute till that's up, so they've got at least a little bit of time. But BKB. Now BKB, Emo, still moving forward. Not a fight he wants to take 4v1.
Like he pops his own BKB, but he gets the Storm 10-second one as well out of it, and he didn't have to do anything.
He would have been a little bit happier had he gotten also SCCC's 6-second BKB.
Is under attack.
But they're smoking, and they're smoking with Storm's BKB on cooldown for another 45 seconds.
I don't know if the observer can hear us. Look at Tidehunter's item build, and look at what he's got queued up next.
Stupendous.
All right.
Never refuse gold.
Like, why? I actually have no idea.
Farming?
How farm, like how quickly you farm with Battle Fury Tide. That sounds sick.
Battle Fury Anchor Smash, man.
Yeah. I'm down. Sign me up, actually.
With Vlad's? Come on. This is an unkillable Tide in lane. Just, you know, just 30 minutes into the game.
Dota 1 Battle Fury Tide was the funniest. The way Battle Fury worked on some heroes in Dota 1 was like ridiculous. Like they used to have separate attack animations for if they had Battle Fury. And so Tide used to spin on every single attack. It was so dumb.
Going forward, Kaka looking for a target to throw that Winter's Curse on. I don't think he can catch up to SCCC in a comfortable position, so...
Yeah, they had the relocate as well available, so... Couldn't just curse him up there.
He's going into the butterfly. Going into the butterfly, Gyro's already got that MKB.
I mean, I think it's still fine though, right? Like you're increasing your agi for your
Bottom.
like...
They will find Emo. They will have the damage and take him out. A 9-time spree going into the hands of SCCC. No buyback. That's pretty bad with Roche up in well, the same amount of time that Ember's going to be allowed to stay dead.
Yeah, it's fortunate.
Unfortunate timing.
Fortunate for us.
Yeah. Yeah. They smoke. They have Ravage. Look at JT's positioning.
Oh my god.
Oh god. SCCC. CCC you later. Jesus. They'll get the kill there on the fade, and they're going to continue looking for Kaka at least, but Fly moving in, and here comes JT once again. They kill off the Storm. They ball back on the Disruptor, but God, I mean, without Ember, that fight feels great for them, especially forcing the buyback on SCCC, and there's still no Roche available for 40 seconds.
Gyro brought it back into the fight, but they didn't have control of this outpost next to their the Roche. So he couldn't TP into the fight straight away, and he TP'd to the tier 2 mids. I don't think he realised. But, yeah, and now this Ember's back up again. Like, obviously, they have no Ravage, which is right, on the Radiant side. So they do have to be careful here on IG. It's not just like a straight-up, we win the fight now. But, you know, with the Gyro up to buyback, if they take him out one more time, game does feel very difficult at that point for Aster.
Yeah.
And this morphing is unbelievably fast.
It is tough to feel confident when you could still get cursed as well. And just set up for really just the morphling to take over and kill you.
It was a really good Ravage by JT though. But that's you know, they control the high ground, right? Like, if they control the high ground, they have the vision advantage there, so they can just basically take whatever fight they want.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
So they'll end up going in a row. Shadis Cheese available. Everybody's up now for IG. No Ravage for 45 seconds, and Aster evacuate the pit.
This is so risky though for Aster to just run into the pit. I was going to say, like, all these heroes are up. Like, they're against a curse.
Falling forward, they've got the Electric Vortex on the JT. Wave 4 looking over at XSS. They'll get the kill. They've got a Winter's Curse that locks up Bobica. They'll get the damage. They'll take out the Wisp. Now 2 heroes without buyback. The BKB is going to be popped by Fly as well as CCC. But Fly, he morphed into the Gyro. He'll get the kill. That's 99 seconds without the Gyro. Oh, Cold Embrace keeps Ollie alive as your JT tied and your Fly more for chasing after Fade. He's just one shot away from going down after the homing missile hits. They also take out Chuan. They'll finish off Fade. It's a full team wipe in the favor of IG, and I expect the GG call to follow suit as a Ravage? JT, they didn't call it yet.
I really hope JT did that on purpose. I really, really hope he did.
I hope they don't call it.
That's the best power play I've ever seen, by the way. That's incredible.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Oh my god.
Structures are fortified.
Picks up Deso instead of the Battle Fury.
Dire's
Oh,
middle
good.
tower has
So he's
fallen.
actually managed to buy a Deso, and it made more sense the item he had originally queued up. Nice.
Radiant's top
Aster
tower
not
is
calling
under
GG
attack.
just yet.
I mean, I'd be amazed if they somehow defend this.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
XSS will surely try. Fly though, going objectives. There's the GG.
Attack.
Alright. You were allowed to Ravage, GG.
Oh, yeah. Part of me thinks he might have done it by accident because he might have meant to anchor smash.
Sure.
But,
Sure.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure. You got it.
Jeez.
Man, Fly 12-0-7 on that Morphling and 10-2-11 there for Emo. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I think
perfect from them.
Kaka. Yeah, I think Kaka played really well as well, though. There were some insanely good curses this game that completely changed the fights.
Yeah.
And I think Aster are going to be a little bit disappointed about their performance today. Obviously, this Gyro Wisp is something they really believe in. So it's nice to see that they're starting the patch, trying something they like, seeing how things go. But I don't know, this Storm hero feels so sad now that you can't just build Bloodstone first. I think that item just isn't good enough on Storm anymore, I don't think. Like, you can still build it, it's not awful, but it's just nowhere near as good as it was before. And the fact Helm of Dom lost